equally, but we take you here as somebody who is aspiring. When we say Ate Bazo is your artist name, so we can keep that doctor a bit so that just for this said. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Killian.
Yes.
It's a big pleasure for me to be here.
I should just get to my right and welcome you, Adeline Benkum. You are the Deputy Board Chair of SONACAM, actually sitting. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to contribute to clarify and edify the minds of our viewers. Thank you for this opportunity.
It's our honor. We have another lady. We have two ladies on the set today. Promise Akante, a journalist, news presenter with Royal FM. Welcome to the program, Mom.
Thank you very much, Killian, for having me. We say good afternoon to all our televiewers and hoping that by the end of the show, we are going to edify the people and help in our own little way to make our country better.
Jeff Ngwa, our own Jeff Ngwa, a sports consultant. He's very knowledgeable in so many things. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Killian, and good afternoon to the viewers of CRTV.
And without any waste of time, we're going to start with the regular starter of the program, which is press review done for us this week by Yoti Kali Lesonge. Yoti?
An assessment of week 1 of the 2020-2021 school year in the Northwest and Southwest regions animated the papers this week. In an article on the Guardian Post on English Daily, education officials revealed a turnout which was more than 90% of what they had anticipated this school year, the highest attendance since 2017, while the Horizon talks of teachers bemoaning a drop in school attendance figures in the Northwest region. As if to keep them on course, the SDA of Ngoketunjia, termed as overzealous according to the Herald Tribune, announced the compulsory roll call for civil servants after failing to coerce parents, an issue which makes observers wonder in another publication of the Horizon if the senior divisional officer of Ngoketunjia, Ketong Henderson, is transforming civil servants to pupils. As observers seek answers, the Post newspaper comes forth to talk about the Cameroon Football Federation, Fcfa, and the Cameroon Football Professional League, LFPC imbroglio, which poses a threat to Cameroon hosting the African Nations Championship, CHAN 2021, and the African Cup of Nations, AFCON 2022. A hot potato in the press this week, which the Guardian Post didn't sugarcoat as it warns readers that Cameroon risks losing the CHAN and AFCON hosting rights as the World Football Governing Body FIFA threatens sanctions. Meanwhile, the Association of Amateur Football Clubs, as if to boost the sports minister's morale, back his mediation efforts to the Fcfa LFPC saga, even though the Horizon reports of FIFA dangling a suspension hammer on Cameroon again over government interference in the management of football. In the midst of the tussle and hosting rights still hanging on a balance, Cameroon expresses her readiness to host the 2020 CHAN, even though the Intermediate Lions coach is still in search of attacking options. While football fans remain optimistic, musical artists look forward to what will become of the Cameroon Musical Arts Corporation, SONACAM, as another Anglophone musician, Jojo Musenja, declares his candidature for the SONACAM presidency, promising to thrash the issue of royalties. Other issues such as the voting of Cameroonian Yap Mariatu, the first woman and African as Secretary General of the International Civil Defense Organization, the inauguration of nautical vessels at the Douala Port Authority, Cameco's ambitious but flopped plan to go operational, as well as the new tax on mobile phones, also made the lead stories in the newspapers this week.
Thank you very much, Yoti. We're going to delve into the discussion immediately, and I will start with you, Adeline Benkum. You are the sitting vice board chair of SONACAM. What is the situation of SONACAM now?
Well, maybe before we get into the situation exactly, I just want to do a brief review on how we've got here. You know, in 2013, after the candidacy, or not candidacy, the victory by Ndidi Yango was nullified for nationality issues. Artists spent an empty period of about from 2013 to 2017 without any copyright management body. And this led to a lot of misery. It led to lots of difficult situations until Sonacam was born during following an elective Constituent General Assembly that took place on the 9th of September at the conference center in Yaoundé. And since then, a board made up of 41 members has been working to ensure that artists receive their rights and so on. But this has been fraught with a lot of difficulties, challenges, as we all must have heard. First of all, the number of board members was very colossal and had a heavy toll on the budget, on the expenses, because we, according to the instruments, the founding instruments, we were supposed to hold board meetings every 3 months, at least quarterly, 4 times a year. But it's not been very possible to hold regularly because of this colossal number of board members. Mm-hmm. Secondly, the creation of Sonacam was still contested by a group of artists who believed that one of the former corporations, talking about specifically about the CMC, ought to have absorbed the other corporations, which to them they believe that it was created illegally, because they still claim legal existence of this corporation. And because of that, there's been a lot of contestation, pressure. Sometimes when Sonacam...
So simply said, Sonacam is still living in problems.
The music sector in general, the music sector, subsector, I call it a subsector because it's in difficulty because there are many factors around the different, the current situation which we are living now.
And even before Ndidi Yango, we want to go back to even, I think, Sosinada, CMC that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Some band, they had problems. Even the renowned musician who came up, may his soul rest in peace, Manodi Bango.
Yes.
We thought that was hope, but he also was sacked, I should say, by authorities. Are we saying that the Cameroon music management body has been born with problems and that we may not have a way out?
What you're saying is a very sad situation that has been taking place. You see icons and legends come to take over the management of a corporation, and the way they are treated, the way they are insulted, the way they are treated doesn't bring respect to the community. But what I think is that now that we have a minister who understands, who is an artist in himself, understands how to deal with the artist, has decided to put his hand on the table and say, we have to stop this division. We have to stop this fighting. It's not helping anybody. We are not able to collect enough money as we need, because each time a group is managing, another group will come up.
Okay.
And
before that's done, we hope that the next general elective, the next elective general session will solve that problem. And you happen to be a candidate. You have listened to the situation. It's problematic. It's really sad, as the sitting vice board chair person has said. How do you receive this, given that you are going into a body that is rocked with problems?
First thing I would say is the vice board chair, Adeline, made an important statement, the fact that between 2013 and 2017, there seemed to be a vacuum. But what she did not say was that during that period, the government had decided to put in place another committee to find out where the problem was. And the findings and recommendations of that structure were not respected in the creation of SONACAM. And that is where the problem is. Because at the Prime Minister's office, there was an ad hoc commission which went around the world. They went to Sachem, they did everything. In fact, they were given 6 months, but they took more than 1 year, 1.5 years. And what they said was that the problem which brought divisions and insults, clans, different groups within the sector, was the way the license to function of CMC was taken away in 2008. What the minister did was wrong. Let's accept it. But she was a sitting minister, and she gave legitimacy to the existence of SOCAM.
She was trying to solve a problem.
No, well, you don't solve a problem by doing the wrong thing. The CMC had planned a General Assembly which overnight was transformed.
I want to insist.
No, it's important.
I agree. What I want to insist is the sitting vice board chair said artists don't agree themselves.
No,
that's why
that's exactly
when your house is divided, you invite enemies to come and take over.
No, but Killian, the problem is when there is injustice, you create problems. You create divisions. I am saying that the General Assembly that was summoned in 2008 was a CMC summoned General Assembly, which overnight was transformed into an assembly to create a new company without liquidating CMC. And when this company came into place, CMC, what they did was they took the matter to court, and the court ruled in favor of CMC. And the minister refused to apply the rulings. That is where the problems are. That's why when the commission sat at the PM's office, they said, we know that errors have been committed on both sides, but the way forward should be, let's bring everybody on board. Let's merge all these companies. We will not have a group saying that it's pro-CMC, is a group. But when we were working to implement the merger, which the Prime Minister and the head of state himself had, because there's an arrêté which was signed, the minister turned around and created a new company, which was a fifth problem that was created.
Well, that one is known. After that, let's go forward.
Yes.
That is a problem we already know. Is the situation. When you listen to him,
I haven't landed. If you let me land, maybe she will be able to respond.
Yes, one minute.
Now, when they went to the platform which created SONACAM, in that platform, they transformed themselves into a bot. That is why 41 people were invited to a platform. The 41 people became board members. And in the General Assembly, there was no election. If you do not follow the text, even the text of SONACAM were not adopted. It's only the statutes which were adopted. There was no internal regulations. There was no electoral code. And these are things which are mandatory for the creation.
You cannot be putting your existence into question.
Yes.
Well, what do you say to this?
What I want to say is that part of what he's saying is true, but some of the details, I think he was invited to the platform. He was even one of the vice presidents of the platform. But he did not come because he believed that we didn't have to create a new corporation. And I want to say that sometimes we do not understand certain things. A father, it is difficult for you to force a father to choose between two children. And that's what artists have tried to do. They put the ministers in difficulty. They put the government in difficulty. Because while you're saying your CMC still exists, others know, like we know, that recently the Supreme Court had finalized that document, and CMC, according to the Supreme Court, does not exist. While they are saying CMC exists, the Minister of Justice clearly stated that the CMC had been dissolved, because part of the members of the CMC, who today are even reclaiming, are the ones who went to Monatele and claimed that they had dissolved the corporation. Good. So it's let me learn in relation to the other issues he's saying. We were invited to the platform. There were many people invited who did not come. Those who had the ideology of saying that CMC should merge with the other corporations and absorb. But the bulk of the artists, I must say, wrote to the Prime Minister, wrote to the Minister, got to the Minister and told him, we are tired, we don't want to carry the trouble of CMC on us. We are tired and we want to create a new corporation. And on the basis of that, the Prime Minister authorized clearly that we should go in for the creation of a new corporation. And in relation to, there are certain issues that he raises. So if about 10 of you didn't come to the corporation, you cannot say that everybody who went to the platform became a board member. But I think that the authorities, because what is happening today is that every artist now has become a power monger. That is, everybody wants to be a board chair, everybody wants to be a board member. And so government felt that by appeasing them...
We got that point.
Yes, by appeasing them with giving this voice, maybe they will not come.
Yes, Jovgwa, you've been listening to... actually, yes, you will react. We have time.
He said, which I need to react to.
You will. Just note you will react. Let us listen to Jovgwa.
I just wanted to react to tell you that look at where we are in these two movements, the Cameroonian artistic industry, cultural industry, and sports. We have fallen so low that it doesn't deserve the place in the universe for a country like Cameroon, endowed with a lot of talent in the artistic industry, endowed with a lot of talent in the soccer industry.
Yes, we're talking music for now.
These sectors, in recent years, because at least I've cut my calendar a number of years, and I've seen a number of things go by. These sectors in Cameroon have been tainted by cupidity, egoism, and you name them.
Yeah, she just said that.
And the heart of it, the center of the whole problems you are hearing is money, money, money. Take away money out of this, the problems will be solved.
Okay, we are going to get to that because as we go forward, we're going to see is there any hope, given that we have elective General Assembly next week. Yes, Promise.
I'm just surprised that since we've been talking, cutting from CMC to SOCAM to SONACAM, I haven't heard of how much they are fighting to create concert halls and to have artists produce better music and to make Cameroonians love the music arts because we consume a lot of foreign music. Not that we don't play good music, we do. Excellent music. We have Cameroonians who are singing like you cannot even imagine where and how. But in it all of these structures, are they fighting for the good of the artists themselves, or they're fighting for personal gains? Because we're in a country where we have no music hall. You can't sit and really want to go out on an evening and go to a cultural center and have live.
We do not have anymore.
I mean, like live shows with all the orchestras, the batteries, and all of it. We don't have. So all of these struggles, all of this power mongering, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's just power mongering that people want to have a title. Oh, I'm the PCA, I'm the board chair of the music industry. We have bigger problems. The problems are how to fish those artists in there and bring them to the limelight. When we look at other artists the few who have their means and they sell themselves to the international scene, they are highly loved and appreciated. Cameroonians, for crying out loud, we have the talents. This should not be issue of I want to be the board chair. It should be the issue of we want to collaborate and create good music and promote ourselves and make that our country is known on the international scene. All of these, instead of the minister struggling to create another CMC or another SOCAM or another complete new structure, they should be pressuring the minister to, Mr. Minister, create us concert halls. Mr. Minister, buy us good equipment. When you listen to live concerts in other countries, it's like a recorded music being played? Because they have good instruments. Pressure these ministers, pressure the government to buy us good instruments. Let us as Cameroonians go to those halls, take our children to the halls and watch our artists perform without necessarily going to invite foreigners that will pay huge amounts of money to.
When we have the
aching.
Potential here.
It is aching to the soul,
yes,
seriously.
Actually aching to all of us Cameroonians who know. You listen to her, she is already moving towards what we wanted to ask as question, and the hope.
Before I talk about the hope, what she's saying is correct, but it doesn't take away the fact that we should bring order into our authors' rights management bodies, because it's a source of financing for the artists. We can't neglect it. And the government, through the 2000 law, gave an opportunity, a window of opportunity for the artists to survive. And it's unfortunate that we're fighting over it and we are throwing it almost away. No. What I'm saying is that this is the arrêté. I brought text
Which
here.
arrêté?
The arrêté which the Prime Minister signed on the 8th of July 2015.
Who says?
Giving conditions, giving a way forward to the problem. And in one of the acts, they simply asked that we should come up with the right regulations which should permit us to merge these companies so that we don't have quarrels. What I'm saying, that is the committee which was created in 2015 to bring order. What I'm saying is that because Madam Vice President made it clear that I was invited. I'm a Republican. And the Prime Minister gives a way forward. The decision which appointed me Vice President, I was supposed to assist the judge who presided over the platform, was asking for the creation of a new company. I wrote to the minister and I explained to him that if we don't follow this, we will end up where we are. We are 3 years after today, and that is where we've sunk even deeper.
By staying away from that assembly, were you part of the problem or part of the solution?
No, I was trying to solve a problem. I made it clear to the minister that if I go to this commission, we will end up where we are. And I'm telling you today,
but you didn't go and we are where we are.
Yeah, but because if I went, it wouldn't have changed anything. If you look at the configuration of that commission, it was people who wanted power. And they wanted power at all costs. And I'm giving you facts. In the final analysis, where we are today was created by this problem. If we had brought everybody on board so that we don't have cases in court, we have children of the same family. We cannot send the people away.
That is what
we have to bring everybody together and benefit from the competencies of these people. Do you know that since that the Sonacam was created, the first amount of money, 180 million, which was given to them, the minister gave a cahier de charge on how that money should be distributed. People like us, whom they considered to be opposing what was happening, we were not paid. And up these 3 years today, I have not received a franc. If you see how much my music plays and the CRTV money they share,
now
how do you expect people to sit
it's
and be
a bad situation?
When people
That's
sit
why
there
we are talking about
for egoistic reasons, they say, I'll put you off because you don't sing my praises.
Now, let us say that you have not been able to clean your house. There's somebody who suggests that the management of the Cameroon music collection of authors' rights and all of that should be handed over to a private company, for example.
I think that if even government can take back. You see, it's like you give something to your kids. We are all parents, right? You give something to your kids to share so that they can be happy. If some of them start cheating, they start fighting over it. As a parent, what do? You take it back and take care of it, or you share it. I think government gave a big opportunity to the artists. Government came in and said, take your management so that you feel it, so that you live it. I think the artists missed their big opportunity. If I were government, unfortunately I'm not government, I would take back what I gave to you and appoint seasoned administrators to handle it, because by every indication, you cited the number of times the artists have failed, beginning with Manu Dibango, Sokam, Kokam, and you name them. It is not the content or the name which makes an organization. It's the people who run that organization. And I think musicians are failed.
One minute. It's just to ask, since Madame Adeline is the sitting vice board chair, maybe we should even understand the mechanism through which authors' rights are being collected, so that artists may be thinking that there's a lot of money.
No, they know. The money is known. And they actually know there's money.
And the sharing criteria as well. Maybe they have particular qualities that they use in sharing, so that people don't revindicate more than they know or less than they should.
They know all of that, all of them. Yes. Don't you know?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say first of all. That we should not copyright management and the running career development and all that. I think that this author's right management is supposed to be something that's supposed to pass unnoticed, and you just find your money in your account. It's not supposed to be at the heart of a music industry where we are talking about people developing their careers and reaching well elsewhere. I was saying that thank God today we now have a new minister who have understood as an artist and discovered that there was no other platform where artists could express themselves. And so everybody tended to lean on authors' rights management, which is supposed to be something, like I say, unnoticed, passing, and you just see your money in your account if things were working well, they're supposed to be. There is a new law on federation, and it has been structured. Dr. Ate is one of the coordinators of the musical art subsector. And there's a lot of work that is being prepared. Once that starts working, maybe this fight will reduce and people will stop. But I wanted to say something that it is true that sometimes, you know, there's settling of scores, that we could have settling of scores. But I think that Ate should be able to say that when they didn't pay him in particular and many other people who were in his situation, it is because they chose not to be part of SONACAM for the obvious reasons that they are of a different ideology of CMC coming. They chose not to be part.
Let me just ask the question before you continue.
Distribution is done in a way that...
Is it not done for merit?
Let me react to that.
Let me just
I have the text, the cahier de charge, the minister says...
Does he deserve...
We should take into consideration
belonging
all
to
the artists belonging to the registry of music.
Actually,
Please, don't mix things. Don't mix things.
You are talking about having not been paid.
No, I'm talking about text.
Yeah,
if we don't respect text, we will never.
No, let me explain, brother. I think that this is a time for us to speak the truth so that we can solve the problems genuinely. But if we continue to play, you know, what I'm saying is that you know, like I know, that the money that the ministers prescribed that should be shared to everybody was shared to everybody. The 118.
Was it given to me? You please speak the truth.
No,
speak the truth.
It is recently. No, let's explain.
No,
don't get angry. You don't need to get angry. You don't need to get angry, brother.
What they should use, let me explain what I want to see. This text, which is the cahier de charge signed in 2017, was telling you people that this 180 million was not worked by you. You met it in the account.
Yes.
As you share this money, consider those in the music registry at the ministry, what they call Fichier National, as much as possible. You were supposed to use it as a base and give it to those who merit. Now, even...
It was not money for SONACAM.
No, it wasn't money for SONACAM. It was for all the artists. It's written here. It's written down before it was born. And then even putting that... Please, just let me learn. Putting that aside... What is done in every authors' rights company is that if I am not registered, it means my works are not yet declared. The money you collect from CRTV, which should carry my works, you have to tell me that your money has been put somewhere on what they call non-documented.
It is there. Your money is there.
No, but it's not written. You had a list in the last period. You had a list. No, in the last, please don't.
You now know that your money.
No, your money is there.
No, it's not there because they had a list.
Just collected theirs.
Please. Well, you see, when you please don't let me learn. When you talk, I don't intervene.
Yes.
There was a list when they paid the last payments. Those who merited, it was there, and then those whose works were in the non-documented documented works, the list was brought out. My name was not there.
Then
my name was
that should be an error.
You accept?
No, that should.
What kind of error when you are sitting there?
No, am I the one doing the repartition?
But you are the ones who this board should oversee and be sure that everything is well done. You are the one who gives the blessing.
we
for the work to be done.
have all
Say the board,
seen.
don't say you are the one that
We-
said-
No, but
we
you
now-
are vice
you are
president of the
referring
Now,
board.
to
see,
First vice president.
we now agree. We now agree that Cameroon management of Cameroon music has problems.
Yes.
We all agree.
Absolutely.
Now the point is, any hope,
Yes.
given that we have a general elective assembly next week on Saturday.
Are you giving
What-
me the floor to say that before she takes, or it will always be harming?
Are you people play your
No,
two?
no.
ping pong games?
Let us begin with-
asked a very
with-
important question,
yes.
which I think I have an answer to.
Okay.
And she touched on it.
Yes.
The minister, Mr. Bidumpat, whom we praise, is an artist. And he has asked for an inclusive General Assembly. Inclusive, what does that mean? It is not a matter of you saying, no, if I was not registered in Sonaka. In fact, it's another way of saying that we should do a merger, we should bring everybody on, we will federate everybody. That is the thing. That is the way out. If everybody is, we don't pretend that there are people, because you are there, you exclude everybody. No. That's where we have.
I've got that before. Since you're talking, I will ask you this question. Reading through, you are a candidate for post of board chair of Sonacam, and in your program, you are promising free health insurance. You are also promising quarterly payment of all authors' rights, making it regular. You want to create solidarity fund for third age artists. You also want to end misery, a situation that artists find themselves in. And we are talking about ministry and Sonacam. Can you have a free hand to do what you're promising, given that you are just there and the minister has the final say?
Absolutely.
How do you go about it?
There is I like, I'm a university lecturer. I talk with facts. Facts from Sinedibok, which is the structure, which is the syndicate for bar owners. They indicate that there are 300,000 bars in Cameroon. If you ask these bars to pay only 10,000 francs a year, I'm not even saying quarterly, which they're supposed to pay, you'll be on billions. What I don't understand is why Madame Adeline and the rest of them have been there, and these possibilities are there. That's only bars. We are not talking about discotheques, we are not talking about radio stations, we are not talking about big users like MTN and the rest of them. Why have they been collecting money and it's only CRTV money that appears there? Is it that Canada does not use music? But we have facts that they've been going there and they've been doing what we call, and there are texts, there are communiques that have been written to tell them that they are doing over-the-table collection, which should not be. That money should be paid into the compte d'affectation.
Now we're going to move out of this topic. You have listened to him say he is taking over to change the situation. You see him taking over from you and changing the situation with all the problems.
Everybody has the opportunity.
You want to join him?
Everybody has the opportunity to stand. The issue at stake is people think that there has to be a measure in terms of one corporation absorbing another for there to be collection. Other people think that no, we've had a lot of trouble from this. Let a corporation carry its trouble. And we are saying that the minister has called everybody together. I think that is better because it's going to enable us to clear the suspicion and accusations on having manipulated the text. For me, it's a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. Let's go and do the new text and vote them. Okay. I also agree. So I'm saying that there will still be a problem if people are not tolerant enough to know that
I think
there may be other people
yes,
who don't want the kind of measure. And today, I think that what they're going for, the text that have been proposed, they're saying that we are still under Sonacam and we're advancing. Individuals
that's correct.
may go, but
we got that. We got that. We got that.
That's
Thank
where
you.
the problem. So
we got that. Thank
there's
you.
still that divergence that's really going to be trouble.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you're talking about the minister who is at the head of a ministry, which is the supervisory authority, and they have the right, and they have the ministry has the right to bring you to order, even those who are recalcitrant. We look forward to the ministry organizing, making sure that it stops. That it actually ends.
These squabbles end.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We are moving out of this topic to another topic in Cameroon.
Maybe, Kilian, 1 second, to call on the artists that it's a very rich sector that they might not even need to look at the author's rights if they are doing their work correctly.
Yes,
if they
it's a right. They should look at it. Yes, they should look. They should look at it. It's their right.
Source of income. That's the issue.
Okay, we got you.
Right now, their only income is the author's right.
We got you. We got you. We got you. We are moving into another topic that is giving headache. That is making Cameroonians not really feel comfortable. It's sports. We have a quarrel, conflict between Fcfa and the Cameroon professional football that some of us don't think that is making the country proud, and even pulling the international organizations to start threatening suspending the country from international competitions. And we are going to see whether these people know that it is to the detriment of the image of football in the country. But before we talk about that, watch this report by Kmer.
The Mickey Mouse game between the Cameroon Football Federation Fcfa and the Cameroon Professional Football League LFPC started on August 22, 2019, with the FA suspending the league with immediate effect from organizing all local championships. Per the FA, the LFPC violated certain modifications of status quo adopted by both structure. This then prompted the installation of a technical transitional committee by Fcfa on September 3, 2019, charged with the organization of the then football season. A showdown that ended halfway with PWG of Bamenda crowned champions due to the persistent threat of COVID-19 pandemic at the time. Although silent, LFPC officials on October 3 last year filed a complaint at the Chamber of Reconciliation at the National Olympic Committee, yet no satisfaction. 3 months after, the body forwarded another complaint to the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Switzerland. Then on September 14, 2020, CAS found LFPC not guilty of Fcfa accusations. The league was then reinstated as the competent body to organize local championship in Cameroon. Everyone thought this was the end of a year daggers drawn. Instead, it was the start of another episode of the saga. In good faith, the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education came in as a mediating messiah to create a common fraternity for both parties, but the FA accused them of interfering in their internal affairs. Since then, local players who were supposed to be bracing up for the upcoming CHAN via a competitive league have been left wondering with anxiety playing football in the quarters. Little wonder the chosen few failed to live up to expectations in a back-to-back clash with South Sudan on home soil. Worried about the abysmal output, the government lately instructed league officials to begin the new football season on October 31. Could this be the final end of the long-standing imbroglio?
Thank you very much, Romeo Kmer, for that report. I should call that an in-depth report. Jeff Ngwa, sports consultant. I think the first thing we should talk about is not talking about the imbroglio, as he says. It's talking about the image that Cameroon has because of football, and people are joking with it.
You are quite right, Kilian. I will be very emotional when I'm talking about this issue because I've been in sports, you know, for the past 30, 40 years. And it's my sleep, it's my drink. And one of the proudest moments I've had in my life. You remember in 1990, when Cameroon
Italy in 1990
was playing the opener against Argentina.
Yes.
Generally, those fixtures are intentional. You see, they want to see whether there's going to be a major upset, or they want to see the title holder trash the little incomer out of the competition. Before that match, I remember the name of the then president of Argentina. He was called Carlos Menem. And before that encounter, the heads of states were there, the president of FIFA, And coincidentally, I don't know whether it's by dint
of luck or
accident, or President Biya was there during the opening encounter. And the greatest moment I had was at the end of that match when Cameroon beat Argentina. You saw all the heads of state crossing to greet the president, to greet President Biya. That handshake is going not only to the president, it's going to you, it's going to that Cameroon, and you feel that sense of pride. That is to agree with you that Cameroon has given to this nation what
football
1,000 or 2,000 diplomatic missions cannot give to this country.
Now, I'll get to the end of the table. We have another football analyst, sports analyst, I should call generally, because you go beyond football. Raymond Ilume, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Killian.
Yes, we're talking first of all about the image of Cameroon when we look at football.
I'm happy that...
He talked about 1990, but we have so many others.
But I mean, in 1982, when Cameroon had its first forays into international football, Jovga was still in sport, very much active. And we all remember Cameroon-Italy. It is true, Spain was hosting that competition, that World Cup year. But the way Cameroon played with Italy, if you look at the past images, there were a lot of handshakes after that match because for them, they were surprised that a team from Africa, from Central Africa, could play with such verve. I mean, I usually tell young lads in our quarters that if you look at the way they are bigger to fields, they they played that match. That is, if you look at the technical prowess of the team, that was the first scene that Cameroon gave to the world internationally. And I would like to add that, let's not forget that Kanong's first victory for a continental club competition was aided by the then president Amadou Ahidjo. Just the fact that they did everything for Kanong to play in Congo, beat the Congolese team, and freighted a plane that they should come back to Cameroon and celebrate the victory. It talks a lot about how the state has given to football and how much footballers have given to Cameroon.
The image that has in Cameroon, we know, we've heard that resounded, Madam Adeline Mbenkum, that some people out of this country recognize Cameroon as Roger Miller's country, Etoffi's country, showing that football has given a good image to this country.
Yes, I can testify to that very, very, very clearly. You know, music and sports are very strong unifying factors and factors that sell the image of a country very strongly. In 1995, the Tribute Sisters were selected to represent Cameroon in South Africa for the international choral music. And the honor we had was not so much the fact that we were Tribute Sisters having come, because some of them were discovering the Tribute Sisters for the first time because we were just barely 1 year old, but that the fact that we came from Cameroon, Roger Miller's country. And we received all the honor. We even had people who came and offered to be coaches for the Tribute Sisters, and we eventually won because there was a South African, just because he knew that we had come from Roger Miller's country. That they decided to accompany us to victory.
So much honor.
And we won the 3rd place.
Francis, we are still with sports and the image that sports has given to this country. We're looking at it even from a political point of view. In 1990, they're talking about, we know the country was boiling at the time. That was the advent of multi-party politics in Cameroon. And the performance of the Indomitable Lions in Italy, in short, attention was removed from political divisions to sports. It unified the country. We have had so many others. In 1997, we were preparing for a World Cup 1998, and Cameroon qualified. At that time, also, there were so many things that were happening. We have so many other incidents. Now, the image that sports are giving us, even in politics, you can elaborate on that.
In all honesty, He already mentioned it there. When you go out, I remember when we traveled to Morocco with Takamde,
Yes.
he was wearing a T-shirt with Samuel Etofi's, and we can't tell you how the kind of attention he attracted everywhere he went. Now, but coming back to what you're saying, which has to do with the politics of the country, sometimes being modeled by victories of Cameroon. You talked about 1990. I can remember how we would go out to the streets of Yaoundé and people would climb on vehicles when Cameroon wins. I mean, when Cameroon wins, it is, you forget about whether you are from Bamenda or from Ngelmunduka. I mean, we come out together to celebrate.
Yeah.
When the Nations Cup was won, whether you say it in 2000 or when the cup was brought back here, you needed to see the crowds that came out.
That established.
Yes.
The image that
Clear.
football gives us.
We cannot even talk about
We
it.
cannot describe it enough. Now, what is happening between Fecafoot and the Cameroon Professional Football League, Jofngwa, in terms of our image?
Yes, in terms of image, I think you sampled all of us here, and that is how it is across the board. Every Cameroonian has an experience to give with regards to when Cameroon wins or what football has done for this nation. You see, at times I have the impression that those who happen to get into football governance don't feel the way we feel. If they felt the way we feel, our football would not be there. Just imagine a moment that...
Yeah, we want you to take the Cameroon Professional Football League and Fecafoot, for example, and show us the way forward.
The problem is, Gillian, to help our viewers,
yes.
The problem is simple. It began in a sentence or two. When the Professional Football League decided to keep aside, when Fecafoot decided to keep aside its president and appoint a temporary technical committee to manage the championship, the president of the Professional League fired back, and it ended up at the Court of Arbitration for Sports, which ruled that the right person to kickstart the league or manage the league was the president of the Professional Football League. Since then, there's been resistance. The government stepped in to create a committee to try
a technical committee
to try to
Now,
reconcile.
this is the problem. We know that's what we have now. Just permit us to welcome Elvis Teke in the studio with reactions from our viewers. But Teke, just give us some minutes. We'll take you. Raymond, what should be done so that, because we read from...
You were still with me. I didn't propose. I didn't bring... I was briefly situating Cameroonans in what was happening.
Now, let us...
You asked me the way forward.
Yes.
To me, I would say it the same way I said it concerning the musicians. You realize that FIFA accused FIFA for bringing, for setting confusion in Cameroon. Honestly, you don't know the latest. The latest, FIFA has been brandishing a menace against, for suspending Cameroon if it found out that government was trying to interfere to the affairs of Fecafoot.
The problem here, Jeff, is that if FIFA comes in, it's because Cameroonians are fighting.
They are fighting. Killian, let me tell you, Cameroon cannot stay out of this issue because there was a stalemate. And then the Prime Minister instructed that there should be a way out and that the decision for the Court of Arbitration be applied. Okay, if FIFA comes in and says government is stepping in,
let us leave FIFA out of this.
How does FIFA...
Let us leave FIFA first out of this. What should the leadership of Fecafoot and leadership of the professional league do so that we don't invite FIFA? That is the question.
I think it's time to bite the bullet. They should keep their petty interests aside, because football is in our DNA, we Cameroonians, and see what they have to do.
Raymond?
I would like to ask my father, Jovgwa, that last year the league was not involved in football. They played a championship in this country. All through the year, they were blocked by the COVID-19 pandemic, and PWD were declared champions, hitch-free. I would like to also remind my big brother that there is a tournament going on in Bankomo, the Tournament of Solidarity. There's one going on in Douala, Bepanda Info. The league, nor Fekafoot, any of them is involved. Clubs which were supposed to be involved in the championship are involved in these tournaments. They are playing. So the way forward is that it's not a question of the league or of the federation. I would like to remind our viewers that we have more than 50 federations in this country. None of them has a professional league. We had the Athletics Federation yesterday, which
we are staying with football because
yes.
it's king sports.
Yes.
We all know that, and the image it projects is a little
yes.
more than all.
Yes. So the thing is, I'll just give you a little bit of history in solving the problem. In 1982, when we went for the World Cup, nobody in this country knew who the minister was, nor the federation president.
No, at
yes.
that time also,
yes.
the players were playing for country. Today it has changed. We want a way out of what is
yes.
here
The way
today.
out is that we should be talking about the Anyederics, the Chindo Boscos. We should not be talking about the general, nor Sedum Bombonjoya. That is
unfortunately, they are the people who are
no, in 1990 there was a president, there was a minister of sports, Fcfa. How many Cameroonians know that? In 1990 there was a federation president because he was received in Italy where the World Cup was going on. In 1998 there was a federation president. In 2002 there was every year in which Cameroon has been involved in a competition, there has been a minister of sports, there has been a federation president. So those are not the main actors that we should talk about. The way forward is that let us project the real actors. The real actors is the footballers. When Madame talks of going to South Africa,
Raymond,
Cameroon is being talked about because of regime Miller, not because of
Raymond, when you say let us,
yes.
the us,
yes.
who are you referring to? Because the us in your statement
yes.
is represented by people, and there are these people you don't want us to talk about. How do we go about it?
The solution is very simple. Very simple solution. We're just talking about music right here. And that in 2008, CMC won a case against the government, which was not accepted. Right? It means that Cameroon has a case of always getting decisions internationally and not implementing them. The person who owns football in Cameroon is the Cameroon Football Federation. Let us give them their right to organize what they know how to do best.
Unfortunately, there was an ultimatum too of FIFA stating that every federation should create a professional football league. They are conflicting.
Okay, so you see that not only Fekafoot, the league also has its place. But we're going to. The
league has its place. We don't refuse that the league has its place. But what we are saying is that just like we were taught in history, 1884 Berlin Conference, Scramble for Africa. What is done without the actors, for the actors must certainly be against the actors. Okay. So if you want to solve this problem, we should take the clubs and put them in the center of the decision so that they should decide, do they want to respect the decision from the Court of Arbitration of Sport by siding in with
we'll conclude that topic.
Yes. Or do they want to accept that their position, their locus standi stems from Fekafoot, from the federation, because every club in Cameroon must be affiliated to Fekafoot, not to the league. You
will have time to get to the end of that, your thought. But before we get there and conclude the program, we have Elvis Teke with us here, who has the reactions that you sent in the course of the program. Just to remind you that you can watch this program live if you don't have a screen, a TV set in front of you. You always tune in or connect to CRTV Web Facebook, and you have it live. And you can watch the program after this at your inconvenience using that address, CRTV Web Facebook. Elvis Teke, the reactions from our viewers.
Yes, quite a good number of reactions. We just took a few for the sake of time. We have Prince Motapene, who says, yes, once there's will, there's a way, and I know there will be a way to manage Cameroon's music efficiently despite the endemic corruption and misappropriation of colossal sums of money by some leaders at the helm. And it is said that it is sad the image of Cameroon's football due to infighting, ethnicity, and the martial style of leadership. And Fcfa is not helping matters as well. Pasi Lipimba says the music industry in Cameroon is very polarized, and the music artists themselves create division here and there amongst themselves, and the fans carry on the baton of divide for ethnicity. No real support for the craft, but beefs everywhere, and the fans should know that one can support one musician or the other without belonging to any of the different clans. And F1 Elad says, is the Ministry of Justice having a jurisdiction or jurisdictional powers to decide on the conflict? He was asking a question due to what was said on set here, and he says no, he doesn't possess the local standard and let the rule of law play. And Joachim Augustin says the problem with both music and sports in Cameroon is politics and corruption. Politics in Cameroon cut across all sectors, politics, music, football, etc. And
Thank you.
With Alain King, who says let the Ministry of Youth and Sports take charge of all sporting federations in the country, and INJ should include courses in sport administration so that graduates from this institution can manage sporting activities in the nation.
Thank you very much, Elvis. And we want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, watching us for your contributions during the program. Jeff Ngwa, we have barely 1.5 minutes to end the program. We're going to start with you briefly. Thank you for coming. And what is the way forward to solve this problem in 30 seconds?
There is a stalemate. I think people should keep their egotistic interests aside, come together and kickstart our championship. We have CHAN in January.
And we cannot afford to hear that we are
getting into that competition without the boys training.
Yes.
I think there had been an executive general assembly at the level of the federation. They accepted the decision from the Court of Arbitration of Sport, and they said, these are our terms, because we are the federation, we own football in the country. I think if those terms are accepted, everything was going to move on smoothly.
Thank you, Adeline. You talk music. You have your elective general session next Saturday. So, in one word, what do you want to tell Cameroonians, especially your kind, to end the problems in music management in the country?
That the time has come for everybody to come together. Let us make peace. Let us rally together and let us work together and go to this General Assembly together to make sure that we correct the errors and open a new page peacefully so that together everybody can work.
Together everybody can work. Dr. Francis Ate, we know you more as Ate Bazor. You are aspiring, you are a running candidate. What do you think in one word that you're going to do to end the problems in managing music in Cameroon?
That we will bring everybody on board. We are sons of the same family, and we need all the different competencies. Even those who excluded us yesterday will be brought together and will be paid what they are due, so that we strike off corruption and all the money that is collected gets into the right basket for everybody to benefit from it.
Yes, and we also would like to thank Promise Akante, who was also on the set and gave her place to Raymond Elume. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you enormously for your kind attention. I want to invite you to watch a rebroadcast of this program Monday by 3 p.m. or at your convenience, just connect to CRTV Web Facebook. Thank you. Have a nice time.